Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. A Goofy movie is often called one of Disney's most underrated animated features, but even I'll admit that the word underrated gets thrown around a bit. So the question is a Goofy movie truly an unappreciated gem, or do the 90s generation only like it simply because it reminds them of their childhood? Rose-tinted nostalgia or forgotten treasure? Well, let's find out. Based on the Disney Channel cartoon series Goof Troop, a Goofy movie follows teenager Max Goof, who's kind of an outcast at school and has a crush on the popular girl Roxanne. He decides to change his high school reputation by invading the school assembly with a mimed performance of a popular song by rock star Powerline. This not only makes Max popular now, but also grabs Roxanne's attention, and she agrees to go on a date with him. Meanwhile, Max's father Goofy gets a call from the principal, who exaggerates Max's Powerline stunt, playing it off as a criminal activity, and encourages Goofy to improve his parenting skills. This inspires Goofy to take Max on a road trip adventure to help bring the two closer. Which really annoys Max, who's suddenly being dragged away as soon as his high school life changes for the better. Fearing that Roxanne will never talk to him again or date someone else, Max lies to Roxanne and says that he's actually going on a road trip to the upcoming Powerline concert, where he'll be dancing on stage with the rock star himself. This helps Roxanne forgive Max for cancelling their date, but now Max has to find a way to get on stage with the biggest music star around. So, Max is now stuck driving across the country with his accident-prone dad. Will this adventure bring the father and son closer, and will Max be able to dance on stage with Powerline? While this road trip is inspired by misunderstanding, I wouldn't say that this confused mix-up on Goofy's part is forced or contrived. It makes complete sense that a character like Goofy would jump the gun to this extent, because he's a very naive character with his head in the clouds. He clearly can't accept that his son is growing up, and a different take on parenting is required for Max's teenage years. Goofy relies on nostalgic callbacks to Max's childhood to rekindle their family bond, but this just reinforces Goofy's delusions. Goofy must learn to understand the man that Max is developing into, accept that he's no longer a little boy, and take the time to communicate with his teenage son to better understand him. The trip is also important for Max too, not just to bring the two closer together, but to also help Max develop a pride for his dad. You see, Max seems to be very ashamed of being Goofy's son, often hiding his dorky laugh and buck teeth inherited from his dad. He's even having nightmares about becoming just like his dad. It's this trip that helps Max better communicate with his dad and see another side of his father full of real emotions, personal history, and hidden talents, thus developing a newfound respect for the man who raised him and the things he inherited from him. The fact that this road trip is inspired by Goofy's own father-son adventures also adds weight to the film's theme of proudly passing something on to the next generation. In this movie, there's so many heartwarming scenes between Goofy and Max that are directed with sincere affection, quiet and subtle moments that make this feature more than just a movie based on an after-school cartoon series. Then there's the romance between Max and Roxanne. Now, like I said, Max is very insecure about the genetic features he's inherited from his dad, but what's really lovely is that Roxanne proves that these features aren't anything to be embarrassed about, because she admits that his dorky laugh, passed on from Goofy, is what made her fall for him in the first place. She sees a charm to this laugh that Max doesn't, so Roxanne actually plays a big part in Max's relationship with Goofy, proving that Max shouldn't be ashamed of being Goofy's son. Not to mention, Max and Roxanne are freaking adorable together. The way they look at each other and how shy they get around one another is too cute for words. It's such a sweet teenage romance that'll make you smile. With me singing all these praises, why has a Goofy movie become less appreciated than other Disney animated features like The Lion King or The Little Mermaid? Well, there's one thing I will admit about this movie. It's kind of dated. Yeah, as much as I love this movie, I can't deny how it seems to be stuck in the 90s. The fashion sense, the kind of music that's popular, and the references to 90s pop culture. It does explain why the film has struggled to become as timeless as, say, Aladdin or Beauty and the Beast. You can really tell that Disney wanted this film to be targeted towards the teenagers of the 90s. However, the film's attempts to seem hip and cool are way more discreet and subtle than films like Shark Tale or Trolls. Thankfully, nothing said or referenced makes me cringe or wince. Heck, these nods to the times actually play into the world that our characters live in and the story that the film is trying to tell. A tale of differing generations and the alienated tension between them both. So yeah, I can't get too mad at the film for being a little dated. I'm going to give 4 points to the content of this film. Goofy is honestly one of my favourite cartoon characters ever, and someone I've always resonated with. He's clumsy, dorky and naive, but he has enthusiastic passion for life and so much love to give. Despite all his bad luck and physical pratfalls, he still lives life to the full and takes everything in his stride. Sure, some people might find him to be annoying, and I can understand that, but I personally really like him. I love that he's happy just being himself despite the mocking disapproval of those around him. It's so admirable. He may do some silly things at times, and he can struggle to think rationally or sensibly, but that's easy to forgive because he's just such a lovely, upbeat and charming fellow who just wants the best for his son. Max may spend most of the movie feeling angsty and annoyed, but can you really blame him? He's finally achieved popularity and romance at high school, and his dad is dragging him on this boring, cheesy road trip. I'd be pretty annoyed too if I was him. Sure, he makes some dumb decisions, but we all make our worst choices as teenagers. He does have a conscience, but it's being challenged because of his desire for happiness. Behind Max's teen angst is a caring, gentle lad though. He can be quite the romantic gentleman towards Roxanne, and as the film goes along, he does better appreciate his father and see that there's more to life than just high school. It's a rich, natural character development. Roxanne may only have a few scenes in the film, but they're all great moments. I love that despite her popularity, she actually feels shy around the nerdiest kid in school and sees something that Max doesn't. The film could have easily made her this stuck-up mean girl, but instead, they gave us a genuinely likeable love interest for Max. Goofy's co-worker Pete and his son PJ, Max's best friend, often bump into Max and Goofy's road trip. These two not only serve as the film's example of a different kind of parenting, but they also play a part in the road trip, adding a little something to the story. With PJ supporting Max's plan to redirect the road trip to the concert, and Pete giving parental advice to Goofy. I'm going to give 5 points to the characters. Despite having a third of the budget of The Lion King, a Goofy movie still manages to look like a feature-length movie and not a long episode of Goof Troop. There's so many shots in the film that are noticeably cinematic and ambitious. The animation itself is remarkably fluid and quite pretty to look at too. There's some bouncy liveliness in characters' actions, and their facial expressions are brilliantly flexible and rubbery, which totally helps the comedy work. However, the film is also a drama, and the animation can be surprisingly mature when a scene requires serious acting or a somber mood. The animation for a Goofy movie is astoundingly good, almost on the same level as more expensive Disney features. I'm going to give 5 points to the animation. Bill Farmer voices Goofy, giving him this wonderful balance of silly and sweet, delivering every line as human as possible. Disney were actually considering casting Steve Martin in the role of Goofy, clearly only because he was a famous name, and I'm glad that they didn't, because Bill Farmer is amazing as Goofy.
Dad, I don't even know how to fish.
Oh, now come on, that never stopped me. Let me show you a little family secret handed down through about 12 or 13 Goof generations. The perfect cast.
The perfect what?
The perfect cast. My dad taught it to me when I was about your age.
Jason Marsden plays Max, absolutely nailing the angsty teenager voice perfectly, while also maintaining a sincere, sensitive side at times too.
Oh, you dropped your hat.
This is the stupidest vacation! You drive me from home, you trade me this dumb car, then drive 1,000,000 miles away to see some stupid rat show! Call me when the trip's over.
Kelly Martin voices Roxanne. She sounds incredibly natural and adorable as a shy but down-to-earth teenage girl.
I liked your dance.
Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, it's from Powerline's new video.
I know, he's totally genius.
Yeah, he's doing a concert next week in LA.
Oh yeah, Stacy's showing it at her party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Cummings voices Pete, sounding brilliantly rambunctious in the role. He's clearly having so much fun playing this egocentric, heavy-set man.
Too bad, Pete. Almost.
Almost. Watch this.
PJ! Here, sir. Coming, sir. Yes, sir.
Rob Paulson voices PJ. He combines a distinct Californian accent with a neurotic delivery that really fits the character.
Where have you been, buddy?
Hi, Peach. Did you get the camera?
Look, Max, if my dad catches me with this, he'll kill me. Are you sure we gotta do this?
It's my only chance, Peach. To Roxanne, I'm just a nobody. But after today...
I'm going to give 5 points to the voice acting. A Goofy movie's music score treats the film with respect, knowing that it's trying to achieve something more ambitious than your regular Goof Troop episode. There's so many tracks that are composed with a blockbuster effort. Some even include choir singing to add a little dramatic weight to the scenes. Whether a scene needs to be tense, silly, romantic or serious, composer Carter Burwell puts his all into making all the music match the standards of what's being animated on screen. Composer Carter Burwell's fantastic comedic score for Goofy's antics in this movie inspired the creators of the Twilight movies so much that they hired him to do the music for their hilarious vampire comedy franchise. No, seriously, it all adds up now. Those films were supposed to be comedies. This film is also a musical, and a bloody good one at that. Every single song is really memorable thanks to the catchy music and impressively clever lyrics, whether it's a duet between Goofy and Max or one of Powerline's show-stopping tunes. These songs add personality to the film, naturally develop relationships, and vividly illustrate characters' motives or feelings. Yes, even Powerline's pop songs play a part in reflecting the story being told. They have narrative strength, while also serving as Powerline's discography. I also like that Powerline is a fictional pop star with his own original songs. Disney could have easily just cast a popular rapper or singer like MC Hammer or Vanilla Ice, which could have dated the film even more, but they didn't. Which is great because Powerline has become a special part of the Goofy movie. So much so, when D23 Expo held a 20th anniversary reunion for the movie, they surprised audiences with a guest performance by Powerline singer Tevin Campbell, and the audience went absolutely crazy, as if One Direction just walked on stage. I'm going to give 5 points to the music. To conclude, I think that A Goofy Movie is a heartfelt and funny road trip movie with a strong message about the importance of communication. I've been a big fan of this movie for many years. I've watched it so many times, and I would consider it to be one of my favourite Disney animated features. So yes, I can safely say that it's not all nostalgia. This really is an unappreciated gem that deserves way more recognition and praise. The only thing that holds this movie back from being timeless is its very 90s aesthetic, but like I said, the film takes advantage of this for its story. A Goofy Movie has gained 24 points, which translates to 4 3/4 Goofy Strawberries out of 5. If you enjoyed such wacky but heartfelt road trip films as Pee-wee's Big Adventure or Planes, Trains and Automobiles, then you'll love A Goofy Movie. I've been Jambareeqi, and I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, then please consider supporting me through my Patreon. With enough Patreon sponsors, I can start doing this channel as a full-time job and begin releasing episodes of Jambareeqi reviews every single week. I'd like to give a big thanks to this month's newest patrons: Miranda Kramer, Maddie Burton, and Antony Garcia. You guys are fantastic, you are brilliant, you are amazing. So, which film am I going to be reviewing next month on Jambareeqi Reviews? Well, that's entirely up to you folks. Yes, that's right, I have left a poll in the description box below for you all to take part in. I'm very excited to find out which film you pick for me to review next month. Cheerio, folks.